chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You hear some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Well, there we have it. The weekend is finally here, and welcome to another episode of Sabrina Speaks. Happy Friday, Cayman Islands and beyond. I am ecstatic to be here with you today, and you're tuned into another episode of Sabrina Speaks. You know, it's the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration takes center stage. And today's Open Mic Friday on this episode of Wind Down Friday right here. And it's all about easing into the weekend with a little reflection, maybe a little laughter from all of you, and a whole lot of real talk. Yes, because I'm flying solo again today, but it's never alone with you in this virtual space. But the mic is open. Call in, message in, or just listen as we explore what's stirring in our communities, from right young to Barbados, from the mangroves to even the ministries. And if no one calls in, guess what? I think I have plenty to say, but that's not fun. There's no fun when it's just me. I want you. I just want you. So, it is a pleasure to be here, but please, the content you're about to hear, including any discussions or opinions from myself, yes, participants, so are all of you, is intended solely for general and informational purposes. Yes. And, it's not a substitute for professional, legal, medical, or financial advice. So I encourage you to consult with a qualified professional or for your specific concerns. Sabrina Speaks disclaims all liability for all and any decisions or actions taken in reliance of the information presented here. And please don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any episode, because we're streaming live on all CMR Facebook, YouTube, Instagram platforms. And you can also follow me on YouTube. That's at Sabrina Speaks and the number 12. And on Facebook, look for Sabrina Turner, community activist, and click the follow button there. You get me. You'll get me right there. For uniformed services, frontline staff, workers, RCIPS, everyone that's on the roads, I know what Fridays bring. And 911 personnel, hey, how y'all doing? Fire service, my boys over there. EMS, even the regiment. And my lover boys and young ladies and the Sea Cadets, the Coast Guards, the Fire Cadets, all of y'all, all the volunteers. Good evening. Happy Friday to you. Thank you all for your service. And that leads me into huge OMG. I am so proud and I'm so happy for Mr. Michael Ebanks. Yes, congratulations on being chosen and successfully completing the recruitment process. You're now officially Chief Officer for the Ministry of Home Affairs. I've had the honor of working with Michael Ebanks for about 2 years and change. He was, I called him from then, my chief officer, even though he was in an acting capacity. He is now chosen. Congratulations to you, and is officially Chief Officer of Home Affairs, working with the Honorable Minister, Mr. Nicholas DaCosta. Nick, you got a gem. You got one of the many gems that are there, but I can speak wholeheartedly and from the bottom of my heart. Nicholas, Honorable Nicholas DaCosta, you got a gem. Congratulations to you. And to all the team there in Home Affairs, the deputy and everybody that's there. You have a dynamic team. But let's see who is here, and you can share in the congratulations to Michael. It's trust me, I feel this one from the bottom of my heart, because again, I've had the distinct honor and privilege of working with him, and it is honestly, I was really happy. I'm really happy for him. Connie, what you up to? Happy Friday from rainy Florida. Oh, really? That's where you're at? Oh, yeah, I see you cuddle up in my hotel room there. I know, wouldn't be me. I would have gotten an umbrella, a panchal, I'd have been out there, either some store. I would have bought rain boots, girl. Girl, please. Let's cheers to the weekend. Nevertheless, Connie, nothing changes here, and I'm going to do 2 for you today. 1 to you and 1 to us. Happy Friday. Girl, you know how much sales you're missing? No. Hi, Jimbo. How are you? So happy to have you with us as usual. Jim, it's not after 6 yet, so I still remember your name. Hi, Valerie. Good evening. Yes, and she's telling you, Connie, to stay dry. And Jim, running left on a, oh, Lord, you got to come back. You had that water already, girl. You can't stay away for long. Hi. Going on a cruise. Oh, really? Well, please share with us some pictures. Share with me some of your pictures. I would really love to see how you're enjoying your time. You just look like somebody that would have a hell of a lot of time on the cruise. OMG, can you imagine getting me, you, and Jim on a cruise ship? Oh, Lord. When everybody gone sleep, me and you'll be up. Yep. We're going to leave it just right there. Hi, Jasmine. How are you? Happy Friday from Connecticut. Oh, nice. Good for you. What's it like over there? What is it like? Well, we're from not so sunny Cayman Islands, but definitely the warmth of our people and the love for everybody. We send you all the blessings, no matter where you are. We're all connected here, because the slogan here, if you don't know, and just got to keep this going, we are voices of the islands and conversations for the world. Yeah, and that's why 9368255 allows you to come on this space. Like I said, this is Open Mic Friday. We tend to do it a little differently here on a Friday. We tend to lighten the mood, but I respect you wherever the conversation goes. We can go there. I got to keep it going because you expect me to show up for work, and I'm going to dispel that about what they say about us Caymanians. Oh, no. We show up for work and we have fun. Yes. And people like Connie and Jimbo and Barbara G and even Shaq and Shaka Zulu. Yeah, all of them. They makes it worthwhile coming. But we still like to hear whatever's pressing on your mind. We had a jam-packed week this week. And even yesterday I did my best with just opening up on that topic with education, but it's not done. I can assure you it's not done. After the show, I got some people in the industry that called me and saw exactly where I was going. And they didn't take it personal. And I'm so happy for that, because they realize I'm coming from a good place here in this space. And I was so happy that people are actually beginning to respect my vantage point and where I'm coming and what I'm trying to do with this space. And it's not getting after anybody. It's just having the real conversation, the real talks. And I'm just so happy for that. So we will more than likely bring back up that conversation into our trajectory and of where we're going. But yeah, it is not a success without your participation. And you are actually the measuring tool for me to know whether or not I'm on the right path, whether or not the topics are engaging enough. And that is why opportunities like this, where I haven't locked in a guest, is important. That open mic. No topics off the table. I mean, we can bring it real. We can bring it live right here. Hi, Jasmine. See you, Cayman, in the summer. That's my second. Oh, getting cool. It's 71 degrees here. Oh, Lord. Yeah, that should be nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Hi, Matisa McLaughlin. Happy Friday. Enjoy the weekend to you as well, my sweet. Lottie, Lottie. We might have to get ourselves in a bit of trouble putting the three of us together on a cruise on Jim. Let me tell you, we would make headlines, but in a good way. You know how much people would love to be just free spirited like us? I get that from Connie, and I get that from you too. I know I have a blast when I go away. I don't know about what anybody else says. I just enjoy meeting people. I love, based on going to different resorts and stuff like that. I just like sitting down and meeting different couples or families and just hear where they're coming from. And when they hear where I'm from, and you get that opportunity to sell your island, especially if they haven't heard about us yet. It is quite fascinating to see the expressions on their face. And then God forbid, if you're in like Alaska or the high way up in Quebec, Canada and stuff like that, and they're looking at you like, what the hell are you doing here? You leave the sunny Cayman Islands. And it's just amazing what we take for granted being Caymanians. And yeah, Jim, I love to dance, even though the left knee, anybody saw me on the campaign trail can see I got a little pep in my step. But yeah, I enjoy dancing. I get a natural high off of dancing. I just enjoy dancing. I told people that it could be rattling the Happy Boys. Sabrina will be dancing. And that's just me. I'll dance till I'm wet. And I don't really give a crap. Last weekend, I was over in the BRAC for just a couple hours, and I had seen family. I went for a funeral, and our family hadn't seen in years. And let me tell you something. Whee! A tear up, Carla. Put it like that. I had a blast. Of course, I was on the first flight out, and confession is good for the soul. The little lady that came in here raising, and I know, Connie, you can laugh at this. She said, to show you what a good night I had. She said, can I get a form of ID? So your girl pulled out her little phone, because I got it in the back of the phone. And I got it here. Your girl did this. Your girl did this. And she asked for ID now, remember? And she was giving her this. She asked for ID. With pride, I gave her my debit card. That's how much fun I had the night before. So yeah, I live life. I live free. It was just one of those things where my cousins and I, we went out, we just had a ball and we lived. I was so happy to all of the people that I saw there, and all of the friends that I met. And that's what I love about Cayman Rock. You can just be free. You can just be free. Hey, Della. Hey, Della. Yes, chicharrón. I could eat some right now. I could eat anybody who's been in the BRAC and they eat chicharrón. All the Adventists could get at me today, but let's drink to that. Let's have a little one to that. Oh, yeah. So Della and all her people, and her husband. Oh, what a sweet soul. Yeah, but I had a blast. Put it like that. I gave them my debit card for my ID. I'll let you think what you want, but I was feeling nice. And even though it was the next morning. So I'm not going to tell you, but yeah, it was nice. And thank you, Della, for those little Jello things. And your husband created a beast. Yeah, for those of you who, But it was a blast, and I make no apologies. I had a blast. So yeah. Well, let's just get into it. Yes. What's Jim saying? No bueno, no bueno. Yeah, it was bueno for me. It was bueno for me because you couldn't tell me that I did not give her my driver's license. It wasn't until a young lady, and she was so polite. I think she recognized me. And she's like, I don't think I'll be needing that, Mom. She was so polite. Girl, I put my tail between my legs and said, yeah, I need to get out of here. I really need to get out of here. This is what Cayman Brack does me. But yeah. You have me one over here laughing, go, yup, yup. Jim, it is what it is. I went for a solemn occasion. That's one thing with my family. When we do get together, despite the occasion, we really just show love for one another. And despite the moment, it was really good to be back there. And we need to stop just meeting together when we have the loss of a loved one. I saw family that I hadn't seen, like I said, in over 10 years, pretty much, or in that space for quite some time. And there were family that I didn't even know, to be honest. So, or hadn't met. And there were cousins and stuff that I didn't know when was the last time we really partied outside the last death in the family. And we got to know each other at a different level. And we just appreciate each other. But the best one, yeah. The best one was at check-in, and I had to go through Little Cayman. This is how bad it was when I wanted to come back on the SAB, and I was booked to come on the Express to go through Little Cayman. So again, I told the lady, I am booked to go on the SAB, but I don't want to stop in Little Cayman. So can you put me on the Express? Yeah, I totally had everything wonky. That what Cayman Brat do to you when you get too relaxed. But enough about me. I'm quite sure people are rolling over. And for those of you, Della and everybody over there in the Sister Islands, happy Friday to you. It's always a pleasure supporting you. Can't wait again to be back, to just enjoy the mood and the spirit. You want to let go, you can go to the BRAC. It is what it is. Yeah. So 936-8255 is the number to join in on the conversation. It is Open Mic Friday here. And like I said, it's a pleasure to be here with you on this Wind Down Friday. So let's just, because until you call in and you give me, I got to have content. That's what's challenging here in the space. Because whether or not you call in, Sabrina could find something to talk about. And we could gossip, but that's not what we about. We're about informing and keeping people engaged and letting you know what's happening. But again, you call in and you bring up a topic, we can go there. This is your space. You're welcome to bring up anything if I'm going in an angle that you don't want to hear. What's really pressing you is what I need to hear. What do you want to talk about? Call 936-8255. But since we're on it and I got to get things going, let's talk about the East-West Road, the Agricola Road opening. And, that is in the headlines, and that's reshaping our roadways and our landscape. And that has been a huge topic here in the Cayman Islands. And I think from what I'm getting, it's officially open. I know they had a little roundabout there, but a portion of that now is connecting Hearst Road to Agricola Drive is officially opened, or is going to be open this week, and it is supposed to assist in alleviating some of the traffic there. And it's a win for traffic relief, but we know as it continues to go east, this will alleviate even more traffic in the future. But it also sparks concern because the route has been chosen, a more feasible route, and this cuts through some of the mangrove wetlands, and environmental activists are raising red flags about it. So is this progress or compromise? And should development outweigh over environmental protection? If you want to weigh in on this, what do you think? But we got a caller. Good evening, caller, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks. Happy Friday.
Good evening.
Hi.
You went too fast because I'm not calling about
What did?
the new road.
What did?
Well, happy Friday.
Mhm.
I'm actually reversing back to yesterday when I don't even know what I must call him now, Eldon, or what he said, Alfred.
Alfred.
Um,
Alfred.
Alfred. Okay.
Mhm.
I love how when he has an idea that he starts off in a very non-threatening manner.
Mhm.
He never comes off overbearing. He's always like, well, what do you think are, let me ask this question. I love his approach. You
Right.
can see that he's somebody that knows a lot about mediation and conflict resolution and all that stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
But he had a lot of great ideas about things, about after school programs and a lot of great ideas yesterday when he was calling in.
Mhm.
And my thing is, ever since Talk Today started with Val Lichtenstein about maybe 30 years ago, I've heard many, many, many great ideas from people who call into talk shows,
Mm-hmm.
but it tends to stop when the call ends, right?
Ah.
And like they're great ideas, but there's no action that's ever put into anything. And you were rightfully so agreeing with a lot of his great
Mm-hmm.
ideas as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like your platform to be something that puts words into action, and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't just end when he hung up the phone
It's
yesterday.
not just a conversation.
Correct. And I'm just challenging you to because I know I
You're a
know that you make
troublemaker,
your
you know.
notes, and I know that you go back and you listen
Yes, I
over
do.
to the content. And I'm just challenging you to just make some of that magic happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it. Have a wonderful weekend.
Oh, you're too sweet. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And what do you have there? Good evening, Alfred. Welcome to Sabrina Speaks. Happy Friday.
Hi, happy Friday. I'm out to dinner right now and I
Oh,
try to
really?
see on YouTube, but I can't get the signal. So tell me call and find out what we're talking about today.
Oh,
What we
wait.
talking about today?
It's open mic Friday and YouTube. Yeah. Instagram, I think I just got a code. Hold on a second. I just got one of the link codes. It's open mic Friday, my dear friend, and it's the platform is whatever you want to come up, but you know how it is here. We got to create content, and I had just started speaking about the East-West Arterial, that opening, a portion of that opening to Agricola Way. And pretty much one of the thought-provoking questions that I threw out there was, is it progress or compromise? Should development ever outweigh environmental protection? And I wanted to know, what would be the root cause? Do we need roads? But the cost of it and of the route that was chosen, what do people think? This is thought provoking. I got to provide content, but what the other caller said before you was they loved some of the suggestions that you brought up yesterday, and I've been challenged I've been challenged not to just let them fall by the wayside for just discussions to make this platform, but to actually put some of them forward and hoping that, it just doesn't die here in this space. And the caller is hoping that, some of the after school programs and some of the very valid points that you made, you also got appreciation was shown for the way in which you present your thought-provoking discussions and suggestions. It isn't intimidated.
Really?
Yes. It's not coming across in a threatening manner, and it shows that you come from an informed perspective. Mind you, I am paraphrasing, but I'm hoping that I got all, if not 95% of what the caller said in regards to you. So you got your fan base here, my love. They even tried to remember the alter ego, Alfred. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
To that caller. Okay, I mean, usually when I talk my points, people, people want to fight me. So, I mean, I just kind of, just, all right, well, let me deliver it in a way that make people not want to fight me.
Yeah, but that is what it was. They don't want them to fall on the wayside. And I actually go back and I review these podcasts. So again, with the challenge being given, take away the action points, some of the recommendations and the suggestions shared by persons like yourself. And like I said, you're free to email me as well your concerns if this is where it's going to go for more context and clarity. And I'm more than happy to pass them on.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I actually don't want to hog the lines. I kind of felt like I was hogging the lines yesterday, so I just wanted to call in and find out what we're talking about. The signal here is bad.
Oh, okay. Well, we're even going to tab. It's just a lot of the local headlines for this week, like a weekend review, the Kimmerbrook High School, cultural motivation, youth spotlights, what's happening over there, and what's happening in the region as well. So it's just, again, I'm leaving this space open for whatever comes up, and we can delve into it. So if you're that bored at dinner, you can call back or you can stay with us. It's totally up to you.
No. But I'll say this to you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you. I'll say this to you. When it comes to the east-west arterial, I mean, I don't know too much about the details of it to really comment, but I would say that I understand the case for an environmental assessment needing to be done and, you know, developing it in an environmental way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm reminded of what happened when Ivan hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that little development right there by Ocean Club?
Mm-hmm. Mariners
That when
Cove.
the wind, that it brought it right
Across the road.
and completely cut off the Eastern District from
Mm-hmm.
what do you call it? The Western District.
Yeah.
When I remember that, I thought,
you need an alternate route. There's no telling about.
We might, yeah. We
Yeah,
need
there's
an
no
alternate
ifs, ands, and buts about it, you know, caller. And that was one thing that I supported. But I just wanted and I've always said this, I'm not understanding and being an environmentalist or expert like that. But if there was a hydrological study, which is the flow of water, and knowing what the people down in Butterfly Circle, what the people down in behind Raven is
Yeah.
Bedrock Circle right now is going through. I'm seeing what people off Adventure Street is going through because of the east-west arterial, haven't been on the ground. Without the proper drainage and lift stations to pump some of these waters out, if we're not looking at how the water flows naturally, we could be creating another Van Dyke. And that was my understanding water flow and me looking at stormwater management in the field. That was my only concern. But whether or not to say we need an alternate route, the children in Far East Coast of China know that makes sense. But making sure it's done sound, sustainable manner and respectful to all sides with the environmentalist and just reality of us having to live in this space. But whether or not another route is needed, I think we are all past that a long time. It's how we get there and the pace in which we get there, because as our traffic continues to build, people in the eastern districts continue to be disenfranchised and having to think because of the amount of cars. There have been a number of conversations about whether or not we limit the amount of vehicles per household, whether or not we implement a better public transport system. There was even some suggestions about maybe using, those flotillas, those ferries that go across the North Sound so that certain people living in certain districts don't pass beyond a certain point. They are preferred to go across under this ferry that can hold boats and all that. There have been a number of things that were suggested. Even a monorail was talked about, for God's sake. So there have been a number of things, but to be honest with you, whether or not an alternate route for the Eastern District is needed, like I said, that ship has sailed. The answer is yes. How it's done is another thing. And like I said, the big thing that stands out for me personally is the hydrological study.
Well, here's an idea from our topic yesterday with entrepreneurial. Anybody want to invest in by a ferry and start ferrying people from north side and east end to
and there you
West
go.
Bay and Georgia.
And there you go. Entrepreneurship again, creating more jobs. I mean, for the amount of things and the discussions that we've had on this platform, again, post many of the shows, people are saying, Sabrina, do you know how much ideas you've actually shared here in this space? Yeah, I know, but how many persons are going to be those risk takers to actually take it into consideration? You understand? So it's interesting. But I pick no bones about it. I have shared a lot of ideas on the space here for the entrepreneurials at heart, but who is willing to take the risk?
Make me and you go into it together.
This call could be recorded for quality assurance purposes.
I hear you. I'll raise a glass to you tonight.
Nope. I'm going to raise one to you right now, virtually. There we're going. Mm-hmm.
All right. Good night.
Have a good weekend. Be safe. Enjoy.
You too. Take care.
Take care. Good evening, caller. Happy Friday. Welcome to Sabrina Speaks. You're live.
Happy Friday to you, but I know I'll get you up for this.
What happened now?
I want to speak in my mind. I don't drive, but I live up in here from 1985, and I know plenty about up in Newlands. We got a lot of bad drivers and crazy drivers up in here. And just today, and I hope my goat mouth don't catch it, but I think that roundabout that they put there between that road that go up there in our malfunction junction, I call it, is a bad idea. And I tell her, I say, today is the fourth, because plenty of people up in here saying the same thing I say, and she say about she like it. I said, because she says that, and I said, well, I hope my mouth don't catch it, and God forbid, I hope that nobody do be in it, but I or my family members do be in it. But you got to see a big crash out there, because I've seen it almost 2 days ago, and the road not even open good, because some of these people do not respect. They don't know how. I don't drive, but like my boss used to tell his wife, I know the roads, I know the codes, I know the shortcuts and whatever. And like I say, I'm not no high school graduate, but I'm not a fool, and I can see stuff. And some of the people do, we got heavy speeders, and then Mario, I do agree with everything he said. I called him, but he was complaining about it out there the other day, which he was talking about that they need to put a stop sign, but then you can't put stop sign on roundabouts. And I understand what he's saying, because it almost by his gate, and he said his kids come up, and these people, I tell you some of them, and then they don't respect, because that person that almost hit the other person and they had the right of way, they gonna stick their finger out of the window and were cussing. I wouldn't even say what they say, and showing people the middle finger and all kinds of things. So it can be a bit, and I tell her today, I say, I hope, like my mother said, I go now, but today is the 4th day of September. I say this is
Today the 5th. Oh, that was yesterday.
Martinez. And you gotta remember me when you hear that bunker up out there, because I don't like the idea that, like I say, everybody to their opinions, but when I seen that, when we were coming that day, that they had it, I say, what this is a roundabout, and from time I heard them saying that, I say, I don't think that was a good idea. So, anyway,
so you think then that a four-way junction similar to that by hospital and number 1 shoe shop would work better than a roundabout? Just asking.
What somebody was saying is that maybe they should have put the stop lights would have worked better then. Stop lights would work better then. Or like, yeah, that whoever comes, that like how hospital, when you go in, whoever comes first to the thing, which sometimes people try to run ahead of the next person too. But I think that would be more safer than a roundabout.
Or like the four-way junction by Cricket's, the Cricket.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think a roundabout is the fix right out there. And I tell you, I got that feeling, and I keep telling that girl today too. I say, I don't know why I got this feeling, but something got happening. I tell you, because when my nephew got in the accident, I told her the Thursday, I said, I got to hear something. I don't know if it with people that I know or people that I don't know or some of my family members, and shit between Friday night and Saturday night, he nearly got killed. Got a bus bladder. They had to go in and fix his bladder. He's still not out of the woods. And I don't know. I just got a feeling, because I said my mother must be made me psychic, and I could see a big accident coming. And God forbid, like I said, that it didn't happen. And I hope that I will be, because I have to go out and go there, whatever. And we seen it about 2 days ago, and I said, look at that. I said to my son, I said, see what I tell you? You see what? And he said, but because people don't want to wait, and then someone can't handle roundabout. And my daughter, the same thing when she comes from the state the other day, she said, Mommy, why they got so much roundabout here? And some people can't handle them. She said they got bad drivers in this island. I told her, well, Juvita, this is the way I put it. It is good drivers and it's wheel turners. The good drivers are cautious, and seldom they get an accident unless it is some idiot that hit them. But a good driver, hard to get an accident is the wheel turners. Saying some of them never see car, no disrespect. Till they came on, they were used to horse and cart. And my mother used to say always that that's what she didn't like, because they take car to make planes out of them. They like General Lee, going fast all the time. And they say haste make waste, going nowhere, because when they hit us down there, they look at us coming out of, the person was coming out of Mahogany Drive down there, and we go in town, and she hit us. She was hurrying. She could have killed her child on the back of the car, because she was hurrying to get the child to school. And all now, she never get the child to school, and police had to hold me car and kill her.
Well, Jim agrees with you, Shelma. He says that roundabout is barely noticeable, being so small. A stoplight
This is what I
should
tell
be
you.
there. It's more
This is what I tell
sensible.
you.
No four-way stop.
A
Yeah.
trap they put there, more than being used to people, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, I think it's a trap, and I feel like that, and I tell you, you can mark my word. Today's the 4th of September, and remember
Today's the
me.
5th. Today's the 5th.
The 5th, whatever. Yeah, 5th. I
Mhm.
know appointment, but anyway, the 5th. But you hear what I tell you, something, because I tell you, we seen it then almost 2 days ago, and it not even open good.
Mm-hmm.
Other people in that tell you they got plenty of speed. One time we used to have to be calling police all the time, motorbikes. Cars could be flying up in here, planted by drivers up in here, or planted speeders that don't respect people and do respect the road.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, let's hope again. This is one of the action items from this platform, and let's hope that the powers be are hearing the outcries. And I mean, if there are other
And
people,
I tell you, now only me saying it, because just today, about wrong 11 something, me and one person that live up in here had a conversation about that, but then she like it. But then another person do like it, and and then I hear Mario around about it, and several people calling me, asking me what I think about it. I say, I think it's the wrong idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, let's say stoplights. Let's advocate for stoplights or a proper four-way. Jim agrees, no four-way stop. He would prefer lights, as you rightfully say, similar to that of the cricket field, this area. Shaka Zulu comment, Shelman, is saying, my personal opinion, after living in many places around the world, as a born and bred Caymanian, I would suggest Cayman stick to properly designed roundabouts as opposed to the traffic light systems. That Shaka Zulu, again, everybody's opinion is welcome.
That's it. That's each their opinion. Some may agree, some might not agree. You see, after they crucify Christ, so I think they will do it. So everybody not can be for what one person say. It might be 10 against 5, but that's how it goes. But then some try to bash you and thing because you pass yours. That's why I say I can stop calling because I can't take the bashing thing, whatever. And I don't try to bash nobody or whatever. I say what.
No, but the space, Michelle,
is
welcome to all opinions. We can agree to disagree, and it's good to hear all sides.
My skin might be black, but I got very thin skin. I take insult quick. So I gotta start calling. I gotta just listen.
No, you're not. No, Shaka Zulu gave his permission, his opinion. No.
Tell me when you find an SOB, you got to be a bigger one, and I can tell you I can be a nasty big one.
No, but this, Michelle, exhale. Shaka Zulu was not disagreeing with you. He's giving his opinion like you've given yours.
I'm not talking about her, Sabrina.
Okay.
No, I'm not talking about her. Her opinion and mine is mine.
Right.
Bash her, but I just don't want about to bash me neither.
Okay.
I say it's either the lights or the stop, and as she said, well, no, that she's been to plenty places. I've been to plenty places too, but I mean, her opinion, don't get me wrong, and
No. Okay, just for clarity.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that, that she bashing me or that I mean anything to her. Don't get me wrong. Because I am fair. I can apologize or whatever if I'm wrong. And I say, that's her view on it, and I put my view on it. Each to his own.
Yeah.
But like I say, I don't agree with it because I saw something almost happen with my 2 eyes 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That I feel it. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your opinion. Yeah.
Yes, and when you hear me say something, I say I normally be right because I always say my mother must have made me say it because normally most of what I think or that I feel, and my mother-in-law was saying that too, that, she must be like that. So I say, well, me and you, we born different months. Got different ages, but I don't know, we must be, got some similarity, like, whatever, but I say everybody think different. What we do, Sabrina, child, because you see the world we living in now. That woman, Mr. Anton used to say, we in a pot now, and if everybody had the same thinking and whatever, you know what we would be in?
What a mess.
Big mess.
Yep.
And I'll leave it there and get off.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Sure.
Have a nice weekend.
You too. Oh, okay. All right. And
no.
Connie says that she loves when you call, you make her laugh. So yeah, when Connie Palmer, Connie says that when she don't hear you, she loves to hear you because you make her laugh. And when you don't call, when she don't hear about you, she worry.
At least I would say somebody still love me. Still
A
like to
lot
hear
of
me.
people love you. You didn't
That's,
see.
a lot of people tell me that what happened, we will hear you on the talk show and do stop because we like to hear you. And like I said, some probably, and like I said one day to one man, I said, sorry, if you're being hypocritical to my face, you really like to hear me, or you're making fun of me, but it's nice. And like I tell them, some probably like me, and some probably, but they call me big mouth, and they call me stupid, and they call me this, but that's all right. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking nothing off me because then I put no beans on my table or no drawers on my behind. So I don't go beg nobody.
It's a Friday.
Poor, but
We gotta love you.
I don't have beg nobody, so I don't care. And people can be people, and you cannot change them. So that's how the world goes. And I'm not trying to change each to their own.
There's lots of love for you right here on the Sabrina Speaks, and there's a lot of family here on Sabrina Speaks that love you. So you have a safe weekend. Happy shopping.
Again, I know I had to tell you about Jan Julian, but she was a sweet person. I know her. So very nice.
Yeah.
From Georgia, I tell you which, and I talked to her in a couple of days. I got called her in a little while, find out how she is, because we talked later.
Yeah, she's doing well. She's back.
Yeah. She told me she was coming down Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, we keep in contact.
Okay. All right.
All right.
She'd love to hear from you. All right. Take care.
Good weekend. Safe.
You too, my love.
And tell somebody said, if you can't be good, be careful.
I'll be great at it. If I can't be good, I'll be great at it.
Okay, bye.
Look, I love my people. I love my people very much. But what's your opinion on this this roundabout, whether or not it should be a four-way with lights or not? It's a win for traffic relief, no matter what we open up heading east. Again, I've given my humble opinion there, and everyone knows where I stand from that perspective. And but it does spark concerns. Now it's more than just the road. It's what they have placed there. I don't know if it's a temporary measure, whether or not it'll be a long-term roundabout. But we love to get your feedback. That's what this space is for. Connie, you are so bad. Shaka Zulu, love me some Shalma. Was not trying to rub her. No, she didn't get that. Was just proving, and that's she got it after the word Shaka Zulu. I just love her. Honest to God, we just gotta love Miss Shelma. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I was out there myself and I saw it. The first thing came to mind, to be honest, was honestly, as Jim alluded to, the size of the roundabout. And I don't know if what made the roundabout look a little smaller is because they had those the barricade, because the road to connect to Agricola Way was still closed. So they opened, or they had put the roundabout, they were erecting the sign. Sandra and I was out there. She was taking a picture for her news the other day. And I accompanied her there to take some pictures. And that was the first thing came to my mind. I said, OMG, this is small. But the PWD, shout outs to the NRA staff and the PWD workers who were there. I think there was a DJ, I think they called him Macaroni or DJ Spaghetti, whatever. He has a stage name. I saw him. He's always upbeat. Kudos to you, my friend. They were there jackhammering and putting down the necessary signs. But as it is now in place and working or in operation, is there another roundabout that's needed? Or do we need stoplights? Can you do a roundabout with stoplights? Do you do all stoplights? I'm no engineer. I don't know. But we're hoping that this space will allow you to air your opinion on if you traverse that part of the roads very often. You're the ones that's going to be feeling this the most. By all means, 9368255, or you can give us your opinion here on YouTube, YouTube and Facebook. I'll be more than happy to engage in this. But to say whether or not we need it, yeah, we do. And I welcome your feedback. So let's continue. There's been a lot of information about the Cayman Brack School as well moving forward. And this is just highlights of the week with what we had seen here. And Monday, there was a press briefing and there were 3 questions that I posed in regards to it is alleged that persons were working outside terms and conditions of their current work permit. meaning they were there on carpenters. This is all alleged. They're there as carpenters and possibly masons, or in a skilled position, but actually working in other positions in that would be like supervisory roles. And there was also allegations of poor working environment, and how the staff were being treated. And we got an update as well that, about covered walkways and the accommodation block for all of the workers still not being operable, meaning you can't accommodate, it's not, the accommodations are not yet ready. And Sandra did an entire show on that. That the lack of servicing, mold, and all of that sort of stuff. But that begs then to question, God forbid, with that that being an active construction site at this time, what's going to happen should the multipurpose hall be needed in the event of a hurricane or something? What provisions are made then to house those who who live in vulnerable areas in our sister islands? What's the alternate if that multipurpose hall now again is used for alternate purposes, because you have an accommodation block that has not gotten certificate of occupancy for a plethora of reasons? What's going to happen? So these are all headlines that has made our space this year. And are we just building schools to inspire, or just buildings that function? These are all big questions that we should ask. This has been a hot topic. It has been a huge debate. It has been one that I can go back to, that everyone knows how's that unfold. And this was one of the reasons. So, I got an email here. Our kids deserve more than just concrete. They deserve vision. And, I kind of understand where this person is coming from with this. And it's sustainability. It's sustainable, to be honest. And I can understand what this person is saying. Our kids deserve more than concrete. They deserve vision. And it's all about being sensible. It is the public's purse that is being asked. We're seeing the overruns. We're seeing all of that sort of stuff. And like I said, this has been aired. This has been spoken about so loud. And now we're constantly hearing setbacks. We're seeing obvious poor project management again on another site that is cause for concern. And we, the people of the Cayman Islands, should be. It is your money. It is your money. And if it's not being properly managed, if people are not being held accountable, then you got staff that are working on the site that is not being paid properly and according to labor laws here in the Cayman Islands. There is a lot that is allegedly going on at that job site. What is Jim saying? Far too many people don't know or understand how to navigate these roundabouts. Okay, that's still back on the roundabout. Jim, I know I had come off of that, but let's go back there. You are quite right. I notice that they don't indicate people. I swear they're allergic to indicators or trafficator. And they come in, and who in the name of Jesus stops in the middle of a roundabout to let somebody in the roundabout? There's a reason why it's called a roundabout. You don't stop unless there's a obstruction or whatever. But if there's free flowing roadway, once you enter the roundabout, once you move off of that give way sign and you're actually going into the roundabout, please don't stop. I know courtesy drivers on our roads are few and far between, but don't do that in the middle of a roundabout. You can cause an accident. Don't do that. That's one place where you don't have to be nice, but don't be reckless. Don't stop to let somebody out or enter the roundabout. Just continue going. It's amazing how they can work if they're used properly. And I know in the UK, they do have roundabouts with stoplights as well. So that's why I threw that out there for food for thought. So yeah, if there's any more comments on the roundabouts or the that new intersection there by Hurst Road, Newlands, and the East-West Arterial, please, by all means, I can jump from one topic to the next. That's okay. This is your space, and that's why it's open mic. But going back to the concerns and the allegations made in the Cayman project, that job site there, complaints were made to me and concerns were voiced. And that is why when the opportunity presented itself and the press briefing, the Honorable Minister and the project manager representing MacAlpine and Archer and Godfrey, Mr. Arch, came on to have a press briefing, which was very concise. Kudos to them. Congratulations for just doing that. That the questions were asked. I did my job. People came and they asked on behalf of CMR, and those were legitimate questions that came to me. As a matter of fact, whilst on the press briefing, one of the questions that I asked had come in pretty much while I was there. So to show you, it was in real time. And people are just coming to platforms such as this. They're coming to the cold hard truth because they're realizing, that this is an outlet. And I ask the questions. That's all I can do. But I'm hoping that the powers that be, the Honorable Minister, who was unaware that there were any reports of persons working outside terms and conditions of persons' work permits, that can only be done if they do a swath check, if they do an exercise to make sure that people are actually doing. Again, it comes down to accountability. It comes down to enforcement. The enforcement officers, CBC and WORC enforcement staff, go in, they do operations. They have the powers. I read it out in the labor law that they have the right to go and question with or without witness. They have the powers. Just do your jobs. So with all of these concerns that are coming about, persons working almost on a pay-as-you-go that we know is illegal, people who may get sick on the job site. There has been allegations as well that people are actually fainting because of heat. We all know the heat over in the Sister Islands is different than even what it is over here in Grand Cayman. And, it is a right of having, it's in the labor law as well, that you have access to cooling stations, ample water, that sort of stuff. But maybe over there, understanding the terrain, understanding the temperature in Cayman Brac, additional provisions may have to be put in place because over there is just a different type of heat. I can speak from experience, literally. And fatigue sets in very quickly. People can get very dehydrated and all of that sort of stuff. So maybe persons who are not accustomed to working in those extreme heat, a little bit more care and attention can be done. Shaka Zulu says, studies of intersections in the US that were converted from stop signs or traffic signals to roundabouts show 35 to 47% reduction in all crashes and 72 to 80% reduction in injury crashes. And that's from the NHTSA. Thank you for sharing those stats, Shaq. But I think we got our work cut out with us too, Shaka Zulu, to be honest. We got our work cut out for us. There needs to be a bit more or continuous public education. They may say, Jesus, how much more we could do? They need to deal with it at the DMV. All of these people coming here and buying their driver's license and all, that's the problem. Yeah, if that is the case, then put in somebody that can actually nab these people if they're really selling driver's license. But we have an onus for our road users to put in the necessary videos, short videos, or did you know segments. You got platforms. Now you got all of these media houses, content creators like ourselves here in CMR platform. We can pop up a video here in the middle of a show and we can show you how to use a roundabout. It's easy. We see the numbers, we see the traction, we see the engagement. It's easy. If this is not your preferred platform, there are other platforms out there. I don't care. Just get the message out. Let's educate, just inform, because the mere fact that it's topical and you're speaking so on it right now says we have a problem. When you look at the statistics, Shaka Zulu, of the accidents here on our road, I gotta be honest with you, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. And let me digress just a little bit. You can cuss the police all you want. You can cuss them all you want. Everybody has a responsibility in upholding the traffic laws here in the Cayman Islands. You hear me? Every one of us who sit behind that wheel has a personal responsibility, and they have an obligation to adhere to the speed limits. They have an obligation to make sure that their vehicles are licensed and insured, and to be courteous on our roads. Be respectful of pedestrians and cyclists as well. So you can curse all you want. Our duty as where the roads are concerned is that they make sure that they're properly lit, they got proper signage, that lines are obvious. But when you go out there and you're speeding and doing 100 in a 40-mile zone, you're doing an 80 in an 80-mile zone, how in the name of God are you going to blame the police for that? How? You go out there on a Friday evening and you're having a darn good time with your friends and family, and you make the decision to take up your keys and drive and not only kill yourself, but possibly other people. How are you going to blame the police for that? Where's the personal responsibility? How are you going to blame your government for that? How? You have nobody to blame but yourself. The responsibility starts with us. And if you're from a jurisdiction that you're used to buying your license and not driving for it, and your habits that you bring here is similar to what you're used to where you're coming from, drop that now, because that's not who we are. And for those of you, our gatekeepers, who may come from a jurisdiction that is accustomed to you making 3 lanes out of 2 lanes, just totally neglectful of traffic laws, the mere fact that you're here and working for us, please do what we do and not bring and put a blind eye because it's a norm from where you're coming from. I'm on your side, but we both have a job to do. I'm supportive of you, but you don't put a blind eye to the obvious. You can't just go flippant at it. Well, that's how it go where I come from, and I'm horrible at the accent, for the record. So we all have a responsibility. Yes. Alan, hey Alan, how you doing? Drive with care and safe to get there is true. And just leave home a little earlier. Shaka Zulu, data-driven decisions. Yes. Oh, you know me. Oh, Shaka Zulu, you know me. I believe in that. Good evening, caller. Happy Friday. You're live on Sabrina Speaks. What's on your mind?
Hey, Sabrina, how are you?
Hi, Jimbo.
All due respect to Shaka Zulu.
What's up?
This is not the U.S. The roadways are nothing like the U.S. roadways. And we have to take into consideration how people drive here and where all these people are coming from who are on our roadway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are certain nationalities that I think they're on speedways. You have other nationalities that have never driven in their life until they got here. You have people that go far beyond below the speed limit on roads. I mean, the roadways here are very, very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people do not know how to use a roundabout. They are starting to introduce roundabouts in the U.S. Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
And some cities they're going crazy with roundabouts. But still, and you have to understand that the roundabouts in the USA are opposite from the roundabouts here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're driving on the left. You let certain people go around the roundabout first, but in the U.S. it's the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have all these roundabouts, the accidents that we have, a lot of accidents are happening here on roundabouts because people don't stay in their lane when they go around roundabouts. So it's apples to oranges, really, comparing Cayman roadways to roadways in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have interstates. We don't have roadways all through the island that are 3 and 4 lanes, 5, 6 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
we're getting there. We're getting 3 and 3.
Yeah, I know.
We're getting there. God be with us.
All due respect to Shaka Zulu.
Yeah.
I get what he's saying. Yes, everybody has a right to their opinion. My opinion is we cannot compare roadways here to the U.S. roadways.
Okay.
That's all. Have a good drink. Cheers. Cheers, Shaka Zulu.
Yep.
That's it.
There we go. Thank you, Jimbo. Sure. Yeah. See, Evanks. Good evening, Sabrina. Okay. Oh, it's good to have you here, my love. Yeah, Shaka Zulu. I'm big on data. Yeah. I got criticized for that. Respectfully, I have to disagree with Uncle Jim. You're speaking from an American perspective. Americans are not known for favoring roundabouts. I love this. I just love this. But then let's put who drives on the correct side? Is it the British or is it the Americans? Huh, that'll be interesting. If we had a choice, would we continue on the left or would we do it on the right? I would love that feedback. Yeah, but this is good. I like this because we're getting it from both sides. Both sides are giving their opinion, and that's why this is a very thriving and healthy conversation about roundabouts and just driving on the road. And the good thing is neither of you are wrong. Neither of you are wrong. And I'm just hoping that the powers that be will take feedback from this conversation and go back to the elephant in the room in regards to that intersection, Hearst Road and the East-West Arterial that just got that little dwarf roundabout. And they may have to actually rethink that over again. Marilyn Phillips, I'm baffled that after all these years, drivers still don't know how to traverse a roundabout. Geez, peace. Yeah, Marilyn, let me tell you, I see it whenever I go out on the road. To be honest, at my tender age of 51, I actually cringed, and I tell my friends and that I made a promise that I would never drive in Jamaica because I'm always driven when I go to Jamaica, which is few and far between. I need to do that more often. I love the all-inclusives. But at the end of the day, I see how they actually drive there, and I swore I would never drive there. But in all honesty, the aggression that I'm seeing on our roads, I think I could actually do it and survive down there if I had to. But that's not who we are. And I don't want those practices and those behaviors to come here. And this is why you hear it in my voice when I say, if you're coming from a place where you bought your license and didn't drive for it, and you're used to certain behaviors that you're accustomed to from where you're coming from, drop it, because that's not who we are. But yeah, Marilyn, there's still a lot of persons who do not know how to properly use a roundabout and forget about your traffic indicators, whatever you call them. It's a little stick on the side of your steering wheel. They just don't know them. I swear they're allergic to them. And that just sends a signal to tell anyone in the roundabout where you're going, whether or not you're going straight, whether or not you're continuing to exit at one of the other exits. It just speaks volumes. And it's just crazy how people don't actually use their indicators. And I think one of the callers, I think it was Ms. Shelma, had said that people drive and depend on brakes. I swear that is the case. They drive totally dependent on their brakes. It doesn't matter whether or not the roads are sleek, whether or not they're dry. They are driving at the same speed in which if the terrain was like dry weather, even when it rains. And I feel that hydroplane, when you're driving on the roads with standing water, even a little light shower, with all the oils and stuff that is on the asphalt, with one little bit of rain, that could make the roads slicker. So even though it may not be a downpour or rain, that it can fully wash off the road, your tires, and especially if your tires are needing replacement, you can become a disaster. Your cars anyhow are weapons, but when you're not driving with caution, that makes it even worse. And I will repeat again, stop cursing the police all the time, because everyone who picks up their keys and get behind that steering wheel, they have a personal responsibility. And for God's sake, respect emergency vehicles. Pull off, slow down, don't tailgate. Just come completely off on the side, on the soft shoulder, if there's enough soft shoulder, but just give emergency vehicles access. You never know a life could be saved, and you don't be selfish. Shaka Zulu, we're not comparing the two countries. We're just looking at the stats from the perspective of another first world country as opposed to a less fortunate jurisdiction driving environment. So that's Shaka Zulu. And Jim says, 30 years driving Cayman roadways. I'm more accustomed to driving here in Cayman than the US. So very good feedback from both parties here commenting to this very obviously important conversation. In traffic, in its wider context of persons going to and from work in the evenings is topical anyhow. And when we're talking about now how you actually traverse our roadways, and we're seeing as improvements or death traps, some may actually refer, this dwarf roundabout at Hurst Road, Newlands, and the Argogola, the East-West Arterial, whatever you want to label it as. I'm really hoping that the powers that be will hear this conversation, and they will hear your cries. But it is going to be interesting how we move forward on this. But again, 936-8255, the phone lines continue to be open on this episode of Wind Down Fridays, where we're actually having an open mic. Now, I didn't know if I didn't know about this in preparing for this show. Just to let you know that this week, I didn't realize that there was an open canvas at Carew. Yeah, that's Carew at Cayman Bay. It's a good little hangout spot. This is unsolicited advertisement for them. But open canvas at Carew, that brought a bunch of artists together and they painted under the stars. How cool is that? It's like storytelling in motion. I didn't even know that was going on. Maybe they need to check us here at cmrtv.com so we can promote that. Maybe they may have more people showing up. I don't know what it was like, but I thought that was interesting. And just to give a plug to upcoming on September 20th, the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame will honor its all women cohort. Oh, wow. That should be amazing. And trailblazers who made waves in diving and representation here in the Cayman Islands. And, wow, that's amazing. So we know that's one of our products here in the tourism industry, or scuba diving, or what's happening in our oceans. And I noticed another article as well in regards to off a Little Cayman, where we're seeing our stone coral have been adversely affected by some disease, and it doesn't look like they can actually find anything to slow down whatever is plaguing our stone coral on a portion of, I think it's the west end of Little Cayman. I stand to be corrected. I'm doing this from memory because I remember seeing it when I was preparing. It popped up and then I took a call. But yeah, there's something going on in our waters. Now, is this another case of climate change, global warming? Is this something that could definitely, because I know for sure I'm not a scuba diver. I'm not one of those. But could this be another disaster or tourism product? Because I know people, like, they did not go to the BRAC. They don't actually come to Grand. They only use here as a stop and go because the dive sites over in Little Cayman is so good. And the reefs there are so thriving with fish and everything, based on the low population and all that sort of stuff on Little Cayman. To hear this is happening, it could be deemed as an environmental disaster, but what is actually causing it is cause for concern, because even worse, they don't even know how to treat it. So, I got a message coming in here. Let me just drag this from here. So when you look at what's the kind of memory that you have in regards to, if you're a diver or in the water sports industry, looking at some of the dive sites and stuff, what does that look like now? What are those counts looking? What is our inventory base of thriving dive sites looking like now that could actually impact our tourism product for persons who make this an annual fam trip, group trips? You can have trips as large as 60, 30, 20. That is good because these persons come down, they stay at our resorts, they bring their families and all that sort of stuff. who want to go diving, they go diving. Who are not divers, just to connect with their partners and friends, they actually will then go to, let's say, some of our historic sites or land tours, that sort of stuff. Maybe engage in some yoga. There's so much to a big group, even if you're not a diver, that you may accompany someone who loves diving or snorkeling, that this could be a huge impact on our tourism product. So yeah, that's something to think about. And I'll keep following it up with the DOE. But I'm a bit concerned with that because I've been to Little Cayman and I am not ashamed to say this. I've only been there to overnight once in my life. Once. And I enjoyed my time there, to be very honest with you. I just don't like them dinosaurs that they go walking. Those rock iguanas are just, they're like dinosaurs. I just afraid of them. And the soldier crabs that's over there, oh my God, they're huge. And it's just not for me. It's a little bit too slow for me, but I made the best of my time. I made sure that I toured the entire island. I drove the speed limit that is environmentally friendly. I think it was 25 miles. And I observed the pedestrian crossing for the iguanas. Yeah, I drove a car. And I went all around. And but it's really not for me. It's a little bit too quiet. But to see what they have managed to do with Little Cayman to preserve, it almost reminds me of Gilligan's Island. I totally have respect for nature and environment and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's going to be a huge hit if we don't get that, because there are people that just come and they go there for diving purposes, and their partners, spouses, they enjoy either snorkeling or they enjoy just relaxing in a hammock, just doing what people do in Little Cayman. Count iguanas. Yeah. But yeah, not for me. But kudos to everyone who loves Little Cayman. I'm a Cayman Brac lover. Yeah. Let's turn our focus now to what's happening in the youth sports area. The Waves Youth Camp, I don't know if you guys realize that there was a youth camp in July that empowered teens in self-esteem and island adventures. Yeah, I want to say congratulations to all of the persons who actually made that a reality this year. Kudos to you guys for that. And it is so good where you actually create the space for our youth. And yeah, let's give you all a round of applause for that, for everybody who actually takes the time out and they do that over the summer. And if you didn't know, the YMCA's Youth Football Academy kicks off this weekend for ages 5 to 8 and our under 14 girls as well. And then the national team, the national team returned from CFU Challenge Series in Trinidad. So yeah. And for those of you, Jaden, we want to send best wishes out to Jaden Reed, who unfortunately was doing great. He set a national record of 20.13 seconds in the 200 meter race. But unfortunately, he had to withdraw from the Tokyo World Championships due to an injury. But again, let's just applaud Jaden for that. Again, kudos. We want to just send. I wish him a speedy recovery and all of that. And what does true empowerment look for, like in Cayman's next generation? And I love the space that I can actually do these drop these thought-provoking questions, hoping that you would actually engage and participate a little bit more, and just voice it here. It makes a world of a difference, because I know for a fact that our powers that be are listening, and it makes a huge difference when they hear exactly what you feel and what's going on. So yeah, kudos to Mr. Reed, Jaden Reed, and wish him a speedy recovery. There's a lot more. He still has a lot of youth under his belt, and we can look forward to great things coming from him. So yes. at the end of the day, we got to do more to empower them. And I give kudos to the youth sports and culture for all of the sponsorships that they do, and to all private sectors who see the opportunities and what careers our young men and women can make from sports. And we can see what we're producing in the swimming industry, track and field, and so forth. And we got sailing, we got golf. And yeah, so for an island our size, I think we're definitely making the headlines, and that speaks a lot of who we are. Yeah. So let's take a deep dive now. 936-8255 is the number to call if you want to tune in on this episode of Sabrina Speaks. It's Open Mic Friday here with you. And thanking everyone for sticking with me this evening. And I know a lot of you tune in at different segments or different times of the evening. And I just want to thank you. I don't go gung-ho over the numbers that are live, to be honest, even though I appreciate you with all my heart, because people do watch these segments of Sabrina Speaks at different times. But it does make a world of difference when I get your feedback, when I hear from you. It just makes this place feel less lonely. But today I didn't have one specific topic, but I have to fill the space with content, which is why some of the topics that I've discussed thus far, I thought was relevant, that would spark communication, and may have given you some updates as well. So if this week they had a finance committee, and I'll be
Good
doing.
evening, Miss Sabrina.
Hi.
How are you this evening?
Hi, good evening. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Hello? I think I lost that call. I'll call you right back. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Okay, I guess this is not important, Tana, but
What
they
happened?
had a domino team that came out from Rotan to play against Cayman.
Oh, really?
You never heard nothing. They are straight on the Bay Island network.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Mm-hmm.
It was 6 guys, but everybody asking me who win because they're going to beat. They're making each one talk, and they say we go and beat Cayman. I say yeah, better do back too quick because these are pairs wizards on dominoes.
Exactly, we are. That should be good, but I'll follow up on that.
I didn't know who win, but I tried to check this morning, but the Island Network wasn't on. It only the Rotan Habla Claro, that's the Spanish thing, and I saw they were doing some stuff, but nobody can tell me, but I don't know. I know where it was, because when I put it on, the guys were just out there talking, and then they make one talk. There were 6 guys, and they had on the black shirts with their logo thing on, whatever, and then they were thanking, their sponsors for the tickets, and they come out, but not wins as far as I know.
All
right. But I know nothing, but they was to have a tournament between Rotan and Cayman this weekend.
No worries. Okay. Thank you. I'll look for that. And if I don't get information by the time this show is over, I'll promise to give an update on those results for all the domino lovers out there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, my love. I got to make that call back. Sure. Thank you. We had a regular to our show. Let's go back to that. Yeah, but I'm going to do an update on finance committee that took place this week and try to see if I can break that down and give you a synopsis of the budgeting for resilience.
You have been redirected to the mailbox.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, caller, you can call back. I don't know what happened. I lost you there. I tried calling you, but there we go. Good evening, caller. You're live. Welcome back.
Evening, Miss Sabrina. That's Flo, I guess, messing up everything.
They're not flowing. They're not flowing on this Friday.
No, they're not flowing on this Friday.
How are you, my love?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good. What's on your mind?
Put my 2 cents. Driving on these roads, I don't drive, but these bus drivers, they're some of the worst drivers that we have, and they really don't care who's behind them, who's in front of them, and it's just sad to see how people conduct themselves on our roadways. I mean, I've been to Jamaica a couple of times, 2 times, but I see how they drive. One car is turning left, one's turning right, and you go, oh, you're going to hit one another. And they're looking, no, then we're not going to hit one another. And they come here and they drive the same way they drive there. But, if people on our roadways just actually left 5 minutes earlier, it would make a whole lot of difference a lot of the times on getting where you need to get and not speeding on the roadways. But it I don't know what it's going to take for people on the roadways in Cayman to understand that if you speed, it's going to cause some kind of problems, whether it's
Exactly.
an accident, killing someone, or hurting yourself, or killing yourself. But I leave them to the police, because eventually, as I'm sure you heard, speed cameras are coming, so
Yeah.
they can't come quick enough in the District of West Bay, believe you me. Because we have what, Punk Point Road, we have Captain Reginald's Drive, and we have the road that leads in front of the police station, goes past the clinic. That's
Yeah.
Reverend
Blackman
Blackman.
Road.
They do all 60 and 70 on that, my dear.
On that little road?
On that road.
Oh my.
Up till last week, I walked on that road, and they were doing 50 and 60, and some of them 70. They got the phone in their hand. They just don't care.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, it's a highway. These little roads have become a highway for people,
But that
and
road is so narrow.
it
as
is
it
very
is.
narrow. It's
And
a
you have a lot of
two-lane, and
pedestrians because there's a lot of mini
yes,
marts right there on both sides of the road. And then
but
there's,
they don't care. They don't care. No, they don't care. When they fly past you, you feel the breeze.
Oof. Oh,
But
wow.
on a positive note this
Yes.
evening,
Mhm.
I'm a nature lover, so I'm not going to tell anybody any other than that. I can spend all day in nature if it's up to me. But I go and I watch the sunsets at a favorite spot in West Bay. And over the years, I have gotten to see the mosquito research control plane when it comes flying, and the pilot in that notices me and has
Aw.
noticed me. He notices me when I'm there, and just the movements he does when he goes out from off of Barker's and he comes back spinning around. And when he's coming, he comes down a little lower and he tips his wings and I wave at him. I have a
Oh,
video from
that's so
last week,
sweet.
and we don't appreciate in this country what it takes to keep mosquitoes at bay. Okay. I know where we've come from with the dike, and I know where we are, but I want to give a big shout out. I don't know who the gentleman is in the mosquito plane spraying, but I want to say a big thank you to him and all of the MRCU staff.
No, let's do this. Let's
Because
do this. I know one name is Mr. Tressiter. You know Mr. Tressiter that used to teach in school? It's interesting. It's one of them is his son. Miss Sabrina speaks applause. Yeah.
I want to say a big thank you, because they do, that job isn't an easy job, and they do an awesome job on keeping all 3 islands and us safe of not getting bitten by mosquitoes that carry diseases. And we take for granted when we go out and there's no mosquitoes, but we have to give credit where it's due, and they deserve the biggest round of applause that you can give. And I just want to say, on behalf of me and every Caymanian, a big thank you to the whole MRCU unit. But they deserve praise, and they deserve to be told that we are thankful. I'm very thankful, because when I go out at night, no mosquitoes are biting you and so forth. But we need to acknowledge a lot more in this country of our people, that what they do to keep us safe and keep this country where it is.
You're quite right.
We're all critical of the police. I'm their biggest critical one. But when we need to give praise and say
Give it
thank you,
rest.
we should do it. And I just want to say thank you to all of the MRCU staff. And It just needs to be shown, and they need to hear it from us that
Mm-hmm.
we're grateful, because
Mhm.
I'm very grateful.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that the visitors to this country are grateful when they go out. They're not mosquitoes
Yes,
biting them
it's
either.
true.
So
True, true.
it's not an easy job to get up there. 'Cause
No.
last week, one evening, 10:30 at night, the
Mhm.
mosquito truck was still spraying in Barkers.
Yes. Yeah.
So I
These
just
guys
want to
work
say,
hard.
yeah, they work very hard. You know, I had an uncle who worked there years ago. A brother of mine used to work there years ago on the Bragg. So I just want to say thank you, because
Mhm.
they keep us safe from all of these airborne diseases that
It's
the
true.
mosquitoes carry. And I just want to say thank you as a Caymanian,
Mhm.
to say thank you, and just keep up doing the awesome good job that you're doing, because it's not going unnoticed, at least not by me.
Well,
I'm
thank you
very
so much.
grateful.
I appreciate that.
And thank you, and you have a blessed evening and a wonderful weekend.
Likewise, my
And
love.
I'm going to make me a nice decaf coffee afterwards.
That
And
right.
that is my drink,
You
because
kick
I don't
back.
drink.
That's right. I
So
do it for you. I'll do it for you.
I hear you. I'll drink a non-alcoholic beer or something
That
like
right.
that, but that's about it.
All
You
right,
know,
my love.
it's no. But you have a wonderful weekend, and
Likewise.
enjoy. Thank you,
Thank
Miss Sabrina.
you. Take care. God
Bye-bye.
bless. We had 2 callers there. Let's see if we can call them back. Let's see. It's always good to have you participating with us. Let's see. Let's see who this was.
You have reached the voicemail box.
There we go. That's a number ending in 1843. 1843. You free to call back. Yes, 1843. But yes, there we go. Good evening, caller. Welcome back. You're live.
What did I miss?
You missed a lot. We were hung up on the let's call that the Dwarf roundabout at the intersection of Hearst Road and the East-West Arterial. There was a big conversation about traffic and roundabouts. Some prefer roundabouts once they're properly used. Some prefer with stoplights at that intersection. And I pretty much solo was covering stony coral disease that was found on a portion of our reefs in Little Cayman. And I acknowledged sprinter Jaden Reed, who made his waking waves, but he had to withdraw from the Tokyo World Champions because of an injury that he sustained. And just reminiscing back about some of the things that happened, I was just about to go into a deep dive into the budgeting for resilience. This week there was finance committee, and they met, assessed our nation's national wallet where it comes to health. That continues to be a huge issue, and the prognosis is mixed of where we're going. However, I haven't gotten into that. So, what would you like to add? What would you like to add to the conversation?
It's Friday evening. I'm just here to listen. I just wanted to see what I missed.
Mm-hmm.
I can stay on the line though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But we had another caller, so somebody else was calling.
All right.
Yep. All right. Thanks. But feel free to call back.
Will do.
Thanks. So 1843, feel free to call back. 1843. I will try to call you back myself. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, so this week Finance Committee met to assess the health of our nation's wallet. And as I said there just before taking that call, the prognosis
Your
is
call
mixed.
has been forwarded to voicemail. The
person 1843, please feel free to call back. And based on our financial secretary, we may avoid a deficit this year. Thanks to the belt tightening, as it is described, of the hiring freezes, but the deeper issue remains our spending is growing faster than our income. And how do we actually balance that out is a big question in order to keep us in so that we don't fall outside the financial responsibility FFR. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Sabrina Speaks. You're live. What's on your mind?
Good evening, Sabrina. This is Kevin Watler from the
Hi. Oh, hi. So good to.
Good.
Oh, you see, you got 2. Your team over there got 2 applauses.
Yes, I was hearing it, and so I just wanted to thank thank those who really appreciate the hard work that the team is doing. I'll make sure to pass that on to all of them.
Yes, please.
Sometimes we get people really complaining once the mosquitoes are biting, but I can assure you they're doing everything possible to keep those mosquitoes numbers down as low as possible.
Correct.
And a little fun fact that people might not understand: every single time we have those heavy rain showers, 10 days later we're having a new brew of mosquitoes that are being birthed, and we have to stay on top of them. And we're talking about, especially in some of the areas like Barkers, behind Camana Bay area, we call that the Kaboo area as well. Sometimes literally and without exaggeration, we're having billions of mosquitoes emerging at one time.
Wow.
And so we have to bring those numbers down as quickly as possible. And it doesn't take, just a day or two to do it. It takes a little while. And so it gets uncomfortable for a while before, again, the next emergence happens. So the cycle this time of year is very difficult. Some people say, well, why are some years different than others? Well, it really depends on the rain cycle as well as the tides. There's so many environmental factors that we have to consider. And there's a lot of science that goes on behind the scenes that people just don't understand that we actually do. You feel mosquitoes and you think all we want to do is blanket put chemical out there. No, we're very, very careful with what we put in the environment. We live here. We don't want to do anything to cause any significant harm. And even though our chemicals are considered safe, the way we use it, it's just like, think about using your own household chemicals. If you use too much, it's not good. But if you use it in moderation, it could do a world of the different things.
Well, thank you, Kevin, so much. And I try to share as much information as I can to highlight everything here. And that is a part of our public health, and it impacts the quality of our life here in the Cayman Islands. And having had the privilege of being the minister responsible for that department, I just have a different respect for the work that you all do. And, I don't think people realize exactly how at risk we are because of mosquitoes. And the great job that we are doing with control of it is why I feel we don't have as much mosquito-borne disease viruses that we do right here in the Cayman Islands, because of our control mechanisms that we have in place.
Yep, everybody could just Google what's been going on in just our region, especially when it comes to dengue. Every one of the islands, Cuba, Jamaica, Honduras, Belize, Nicaragua, everywhere, we have tons of travelers coming from those destinations. And they have, if you just Google it and look at what's been going on, they have been plagued with dengue. Now, all of the cases that we've had here in Cayman, they were travel related. We work so closely with HSA and public health. At the moment, we have an imported case that they identify. We work to do what we call a barrier treatment around their property. So we have public health giving the person or persons education on what to do, what not to do to avoid getting bitten, so they can't now have one of our local Aedes aegypti mosquito bite them and then bite someone else and transmit it. We have had 0 cases linked to a community transmission, even though every one of the islands in our region and nations in our region have been having epidemic of dengue. So, I mean, the work that we do is so important to not have dengue or any type of other mosquito-borne illness come and enter Cayman and cause us a lot of issues. Now, I'm going to say, even though we have been very on top of things, doesn't mean it will never happen. We have that reality, but we have to always stay on top of it, do the best we can, work with our community partners, as well as the folks, the great folks that are at HSA and public health.
Correct. And again, kudos, congratulations. There's another, I don't know, this is a trick question. Well, not a trick question. I know Tressiter is a pilot, but I don't remember the other pilot's name because they.
Yeah, so Ben
Tressiter.
Yes, he's our chief pilot. And then we have a contract pilot that comes in around this time of year when we're a little busier, because as you can imagine, one pilot's not good enough when we have a lot of different things going on. So we do have another pilot that that comes in on a temporary
Okay, but Ben
contract
is the
for
chief
a little
one.
period of time.
Yeah, Ben is the
Ben
chief.
is actually chief pilot. Yes.
Yeah. So again, everyone is just thanking them for all of their works, and it's sometimes you may feel as though you're not appreciated because you're only here when there's an emergence of mosquitoes. But what happens when you don't feel them? It speaks highly to the work that we're doing to be proactive. But there's just some things, like you rightfully say, environment, high tide, low tide, winds. Sometimes you don't see the plane. And another big thing that I didn't realize, Kevin, when the spray planes are up in the day versus the night, they're treating two different things.
Yes. So there are two different types of treatments that we do. One is called larviciding and one is called adulticiding. So adulticiding, that's the one that takes place in the evening time. And that operation will start 15 minutes after sunset, depending on the time of year we're in. The sun does set either earlier or later. Right. So whatever 15 minutes is after sunset, that's when we're doing adulticiding. And that is when we're trying to eliminate the adult mosquitoes.
The ones who have already hatched. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, the one that you're talking about in the daytime is larviciding. And that is when they're still in their larval stage within the swampy areas. And we have two types of larvicide. One is a granule, which is like a sand type product. And then one is a liquid. So it depends on, because we have to rotate chemicals. Just like if a human takes too much antibiotics, we build up immunity. And resistance. Exactly. Now, it's the same thing with mosquitoes. We have to also rotate our products so they don't build up that. And that's also another reason why we don't want to over chemical or over spray. We have to really find that right balance to ensure that we're not going to ever have an issue where we have resistance, because then we're going to be in a serious problem and unable to ever carry out control. And that's happened in other parts of the world. And so we're not one of those people that want to ever be in that position. And I'm glad that we have the team that we do have. But yeah, the larviciding, what that does, it actually stops the growth cycle of the mosquitoes once we put those products down, the larvicide down in the swamp,
so that they don't hatch. We're hoping to eliminate the hatch.
They'll never emerge. So it can mean the difference. Like I said earlier, over 1 billion mosquitoes emerging at one time when there's no larvicide. But now when we do larvicide, we're talking about a few 100,000 mosquitoes that will be emerging. Big difference. Still a big amount, but it's a lot less that people are going to have to deal with.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that explanation. I hope, again, there's always a little bit of nugget that we can share here on Sabrina Speaks. And I hope people will understand that when you see the spray plane up in the day versus in the night, that they're actually treating two different things. But thank you, Kevin.
I want to let people know one more thing, because this is one of the complaints that we do have about the aircraft. I know the caller was very happy to see the wings kind of tipping and stuff. But one of the primary concerns we do, or not complaints we have from the public is, oh, that plane was just above my rooftop. It was flying so low. So the plane actually is about 100 feet, and it has a lot of different safety protocols and measures that the pilots utilize. It has to be that height for a particular reason, and to ensure that we are applying the rate of chemical at the correct speed, and it also takes into account the winds, and it has to be at that height. And so it does sometimes scare people because they see a very low flying aircraft, but those pilots are highly trained for that type of flying. You don't become that type of pilot overnight. In order to become that pilot, like Ben, even though he's raised here in Cayman, he spent a lot of years overseas working crop fields and doing that sort of stuff in smaller aircraft until he got up to the more powerful aircraft that we have, because the engine in our aircraft is extremely powerful to be able to carry such a heavy load of the chemicals that he has and flying at that height. So he's very trained to be able to fly at that level. And again, we take safety it's very important for everything that they do. It does look scary when they're flying low, but it is very controlled.
Correct. Thank you so much for that explanation, and kudos again to the team out there. And thank you
pleasure.
for all that you do.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Likewise. Take care. Yes, there you have it. It's not just a regular pilot, as Kevin said there. They're like dusting of crops. Like, you see those low flying planes in the US and Canada and stuff where they have acres and acres of vegetables or shrub and stuff that they need to actually put to kill bugs or whatever it is they're doing, or even fertilize them. You can't just be a regular pilot and just do what Cressida is doing. No, it's not that easy. Good evening, Michelba. Welcome back.
He done rectify who the pilot was, because I know Mr. Tressida.
Ben Tressida. Ben.
We have Ben, Michael, and Richard. But I know it's not Richard, because I'm the one that along with my sister-in-law daughter. But Mr. Tressida used to come out in here every evening when I had the donkey jock and feed him with carrot with a little boy. I don't know which one of them it was. But yes, I got to give a big shout out to Mosquito Research, because they're my people. Because up in here, where I live is a highly prune, known for mosquitoes. Because when Miss Nelda McCoy was living, they had set a trap up in here. And when I had the donkey, they used to come out in here and spray special for him. And I know Naila era one that worked in Martiuk. I used to clean their office for them airport when they used to spray the planes. You know, they don't clean no more. And then when they used to go and spray the boats, and I used to clean. And I know Gilbert, I know Solomon, I know Leo, I know Marcus, I know Ricardo. I know Naila one woman. Yes, I want to got a call and say mosquitoes high up in here, and John Barry and them, and they come in with that. They don't send out the plane. They're sending out the fog, and they comes all in my yard and fog and things. So I must give them. I must applaud them, car boy. And if it rain up in here, I mean, they be eating it last night. They were good lot, but they probably gonna come out later if they hear me, because I got Leo number, and he tells me anytime they high up and he calls me. Okay, a good job there, my people. They keep us good. So you need to give them a big kaboom, because they're the bomb.
There we go.
I tell them, we're not going to mosquitoes like what we had in the 60s when I come in here, 62 when I come here, neither, because I was my boss. We should have had the mosquitoes before he did it, what we had then, and then we wouldn't have all these new songs. He said, wrong here. I said, you wouldn't do say that. I remember if I go out in the evening to pick plants for them dummies when I was living down way, the place in town, I can't remember what name right now, but anyway, when I go out like that, I could do my hand like this, and I get to school, and you let them go, and they look like flies. I mean, in the 60s, plenty of mosquitoes when came on. We don't have no mosquitoes now, thanks to them, because they kill plenty. They do a good job. But we still got, and what we call them little gallon nippers, them little salt water gyms, they call them, whatever, the one with the little cock up, bounty boy, they can bite. And they be itching you for months, weeks. They like to fly. I want to ask you, when you went there, man, you say you went there, but I don't like that because they're too quiet for me. And then they had plenty of sandflies, and boy, I hate them. It's worse than the mosquito because you can't see them. They're so fine, and they used to attack my head. They used to have my scalp itching.
Oh, wow.
Some people, they don't go them like that now, but that was years ago when Miss Wilder, and then we're living down in Mr. Jones. Before they went back to live, I went we went down with them, and actually I went to Cayman, more than I Cayman back, because I've not really been to Cayman back itself like that. I've been to the airport 2 times, but not right into Cayman back. But yeah, that's too quiet thing too. I mean, I'm not outgoing person too much, but don't have bad enough, not the worst. I don't know. If you want to relax and for quietness, I guess you can go them places, but I don't really like them.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Always a pleasure.
But they got the mosquito research 100%.
There we go. We're going to give them another kaboom.
Yeah, well deserved.
There we go.
Kevin Butler, well deserved. He just won that, but I tell him I'm at old school then. All of them guys know me. Some of them quit, but all of them know me nearly. Solomon, all them.
Yep, there we have it.
I don't think she done no more. I think she retired, but they all know me. I was there special because I used to clean the office because balloon guys used to be airport. When I get a break for clean, I used to go out there and mop and clean their microwave and clean their toilet and all that for them. That won't pay me, but I tell them no, I wasn't looking no pay because I know all the guys. That was a favor. And then now they return it. When I call them, they come and spray me up and help me.
Okay. Thank you so much. And we got some information just coming in. I'm going to be sharing an image here, and I'll post a link to our CMR TV social media handles that flags at half-mast for Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Kent. All flags, both the Union Jack and the Cayman Islands flag, will be flown half-mast at all government buildings until sunset today. That, if you saw that, that's what it was for. And as a mark of respect following the passing of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Kent, on Thursday night. Further instructions will be issued regarding the lowering of the flags on the date of the funeral, which is to be confirmed. So there we have it. So if you were wondering what happened, I put the link up there so you can get the full story. You can also see that on our social media handles as well. And I know some of you may ask, well, we could get a holiday for that funeral. Oh, more information to come. But there you have it for what information is there for us right now. So there you have it. We were going into, and I'll just try to do a quick synopsis in regards to Finance Committee, if you weren't aware of what happened in earlier this week with Finance Committee. But before I go there, Ms. Marilyn, I want to bring you up on this. Ms. Marilyn saying, sadly, broad spectrum insecticides also kill pollinators such as bees. Oh, bees and butterflies also kill ladybugs, flies, and dragonflies, and more beneficial critters. And you also said before that, which is why I came back here, I don't always watch you live, but I catch you. My favorite show was The Lady Who Overcame Addiction. She should be part of all programs that address that issue. Now, Ms. Marilyn, Sasha is going to be coming back on the show. We were having some challenges with her because I want to make sure that the next time that she's actually on the show that we have it so that, you know, her, that the space is conducive so that we don't have any issues again, but she's excited. I can see her coming back on very soon. If not, definitely this week here, one of the days out of this week. She has been in contact with me. I have other interests as well. So keep it locked right here. Sasha is going to come back for a part 2 of her story. And we had scheduled her 2 times before, but last minute she had to bail. So I want to make sure that this time around that doesn't happen, because we have to pivot very quickly when less than an hour, 2 hours before a show, it doesn't happen. We have to pivot very quickly. So that has really been the delay. I want to make sure that this time around, when we lock Sasha in, that there's absolutely no issues. Welcome back, caller. You're live.
Yes, of course. You probably realized why I called back
Yes.
about the comment that came up, and I wanted to make sure that there is no mis or disinformation out there. A lot of people might say, oh, the chemicals that are used will kill insects such as bees, butterflies, ladybugs, fireflies, dragonflies. Okay, so that could be true if we were carrying out adulticiding in the daytime. Because of the time of day that those chemicals are used, those type of insects are not out and about and out around to be exposed to it. And any type of exposure that they have to it is very, very, very minimal.
Mm-hmm.
No one can ever say that there will be absolutely zero that will be killed. There probably will be a very, very small percentage, like there is casualty in war. At the same time, it is very time sensitive. Again, mosquitoes are most active 15 minutes after sunset, but I want you to go outside at that time and let me tell me, are you seeing those insects out there, pollinators? No, pollination takes place in the daytime. So again, it's something that we are also very wary of. We have to make sure that we are keeping and protecting the environment in mind as we are carrying out our operations. And so we have to make sure that it is being done with that science that we know that has been tested for many, many years. And we are not short of them here in Cayman. And you see, we have a lot of operations to control the mosquitoes. So I want people to rest assured that we are doing everything possible to keep the beneficial insect kill at the lowest possible level.
Yeah. So the pollinators are not put in a bad position if you have to larvicide in a day.
Okay, larviciding does not affect them at all. Only adulticiding. could have that impact.
You see?
Larviciding has absolutely no impact at all. Larviciding, the type of ingredient in that is a bacteria that only targets mosquitoes. Nothing will be impacted. Your fish, your pets, nothing like that. It's just nothing. It's been tested for many, 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 many years.
Okay.
And again, if anyone is more interested in diving deeper in the science, it is on our website. Every chemical that we use is on the education portion of our website. You could look up the product label and do your own research. And I more than welcome anyone to come in and meet with our research scientists. I am not a scientist, but I work with a lot of great scientists, and they can get very, very technical as you want, with anything that you want to know. We're very, very transparent.
Right.
Again, I have to reiterate, we also live in this community. We have to protect this community.
Correct.
And so we will not put something out in this community that will be harmful to it.
Thank you. Thank you for that explanation.
No problem.
Yeah. That's what we love about this space. There you have it. So, Ms. Phillips, I'm hoping that explains and gives you some safety comfort there in letting know that. And thanks, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, for actually just being a wealth of knowledge and experience there and pointing us in the right direction. But we're winding down here on this episode of Sabrina Speaks. But just to give you a quick synopsis of what happened in Finance Committee this week, and it's just very high level. They are still the outcome in trying to look at us avoiding. It looks as though we may avoid a deficit this year. And again, that's thanks to some belt tightening measures on hiring freeze. But there is still an issue because it still appears as though our spending is growing faster than our income. And I'm quite sure that the government will break this down a little bit more. There's a planned sitting of the House, I think, in November. I don't know if there's going to be a finance committee, but one of the big things that continues to actually impact our national budget is healthcare costs. And I felt that even though this was one of the things that was highlighted, the show that I had with Nikki Brown that discussed, and thank you for all of the persons who messaged me directly after that show that thanked me for having that discussion on this platform. And I know persons messaged Nikki as well, thanking her for being able to educate on that. But one of the things, healthcare costs actually is impacting our national budget, welfare needs as well. And guess what? Population growth are stretching our systems thin. And another thing that was brought up as well in the synopsis from what is coming out in that, and which is going to make this budget for the next 2 years, 26 to 27, 27 to 28, their next 2-year budget that is actually going to be put forward in by the end of the year, is that it has been noted that with pensions and insurance falling short, that the government is left holding this bag. Remember, that was one of the things that we spoke about. That was one of the things. And Nikki alluded to the importance of making sure that we have the mechanisms to hold some of these bad actors accountable, in the space, so that more accountability we can stomp out outright theft in insurance, theft and bad behaviors, and just milking the system. Do more education so that these insurance are not overused, but holding these people in these industries who are just taking advantage of the system because the lack thereof of enforcement and holding people accountable, calling out bad actors, and for all of those who are actually just abusing the system and stealing the insurance fraud, call it what it is. That is left government with picking up this shortfall. And that was one of the biggest things that you grapple with in that ministerial seat, especially when it comes to health. Someone could have private insurance, and when that insurance falls short or says, I'm going to take you to this point and no more, what do you do when that family member calls and says, look, I need Cineco, can you help? I need treatment. Everyone deserves a chance. And let me tell you something, that's not an easy position to be in. And what do you do when it comes to being responsible for taking care of your people? So those are one of the concerns. But are we budgeting then when you're looking and the government at this time is really preparing for budget? I know all of the various ministries are coming together, trying to do the priorities list. They're relying deeply on the finance team of the government. Our chief financial person, Mr. Ken Jefferson, he is going to be dependent on a lot to make sure that he's just giving sound information, true figures. I've been in those exercises, and trust me, it is not easy. But that begs then to question, are we budgeting for survival or sustainability? Is it real? Do we have the funds at our disposal to even question that? Are we just surviving? Or is it sustainable type of budgeting? Are we really looking at the figures for what they truly are? Are we really doing a national budget then that could be realistic at the end of the day? And it's going to be interesting. Or should we even rethink how we fund healthcare? And guess what? Retirement. These are some of the huge questions that has to be asked. And it seems as though these questions and these conversations come up every time there is a budgeting season, and you know there is a timeline in which any sitting administration has to get a budget approved, and this is open. This is going to be open. Both sides of Parliament will debate the presented budget by the sitting administration, and all sides now are going to have to agree. And that is a time where both sides can ask questions of the government at day. We know that we have some persons who are versed in accounting, they say. They're qualified. Some of them have ran their own businesses. And some know exactly what the true numbers could be, should be. But then actually being responsible and realistic is another thing. So, yeah. What would you cut or invest in if you were holding the purse strings? That's something to think about. Are we going to continue with these pet projects? Are we going to see some of these pet projects go frozen because we're looking at reality that we have to prioritize? Is national security now going to be a huge thing? Are we going to look at that from a national perspective? And the reason why I'm saying that is into another discussion that I'm about to go in, and hopefully I will cover that in the next couple of seconds. So it's going to be quite interesting with what's happening and the geopolitical climate that we're now in our region. Just going straight into what's happening in the region. There was a Caribbean Risk Conference this weekend that took place in Barbados. And that was actually to talk about the climate and digital threats. Again, very interesting, because I spoke about the use of artificial intelligence. How are we preparing our future, our children, yesterday from the education standpoint? And look, this week there was in Barbados, the Caribbean Risk Conference that tackled climate change, economic instability, and digital disruption. Can you imagine? Yeah. And I could probably go a little bit more into that, but that would be another show because it is relevant to us here. And one hot topic at this week's conference was misinformation and AI manipulation. So when you look at it, it begs to question, are we here in the Caribbean ready for the next wave of disruption that could be caused by artificial intelligence? Are you grappling to decide whether or not I am real or not? What would be the telltale signs if this is somebody cloning my site, this platform? What would be triggers maybe in the way we communicate in this virtual space to let you know that is not a Sabrina lookalike AI generated? I mean, it's going to elevate the way we even communicate. And another thing that comes up is, what does resilience mean to you personally and nationally? Are we really looking at it full circle? And these conversations are happening right at our doorstep. And I just feel that with everything happening right now, even looking beyond our shores, we can't just remain so insular, in my humble opinion. And with the latest event, I said this yesterday, and I gave some breaking news about what the President of the United States announced yesterday and Caribbean impacts that it may have. I mean, when you look at Tuesday, President Trump confirmed this precision strike on a drug vessel in our southern Caribbean waters. And I think based on what's in the public's domain, there were 11 people, killing 11 linked to a particular cartel there. And what is being said is that this is not the last of it. And they have actually over 5,000 US troops are now operating in this region. And that begs us to ask, what does this increased pretty much US military presence mean to our very own Caribbean sovereignty? That's strong. You have all, those who have followed me from the campaign, I have been beating the drums about national security, national security, national security. Do we even understand what that means? And I aim to break that down in maybe a 3-series part. But that word Caribbean sovereignty and proximity matters with what's happening. And even though we're the Caribbean, we are considered the Americas. That's a total different conversation. So how should we, Cayman, respond to the shifting US politics? Understanding proximity matters. Yes, we're a British overseas territory citizen or jurisdiction, sorry. But that doesn't take away from where we are actually located. And this is happening right on our doorsteps. So I just think we need to pay close attention to that. I don't want to miss any of the thing because I'm going to do a wrap up. Oh God, it's 7:01. Yes, I could listen to her again. Yes, she's going to come back. Melita, everyone, it looks like this is my time for the show. Marilyn, thanks for that, Mr. Walter. Yes, she explained. And why you think, TD? All little time change. Oh, what do you think, TD? A little time change. Well, I don't know. No. I'm not going to go over. But honest to God, as we wrap up this open mic section, thank you for all of the persons who shared their stories and who actually commented. And whether you called in or you just listened quietly or you were part of this entire movement that we're creating here on this Sabrina Speaks platform, I want to leave you all with a challenge. And I'm going to ask you all, if you're besides you all that are going on cruises, Jimbo, thank you so much. I would love to have a participating show on AI. Yeah, you brute. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Right here, Jim, it's probably already there, but they don't know what I'm going to wear, you see. So that's going to be the trigger. I'm going to have to give a little code. Can you imagine? AI is asking whether or not I'm a robot? That's where we're going. But that will be very interesting. Again, it's the times that we're living in. We're trying as human beings to confirm and answer a robot, telling a robot that we're not a robot. Let that sink in for a little while. But yeah, let me leave you all with this challenge. Just do one thing that uplifts your community. Even if it's small or it's big. You get a pass if you're going on a cruise. You get a pass if you're going on a cruise. And remember that culture isn't just what you inherit, that it's what we create. So as we head into this weekend, I want to leave you with this reminder. Please, I beg you to stay vigilant, whether it is in our neighborhoods or in our news feeds or our national conversation. Awareness is our strength. But strength isn't just about standing alone. There's power in togetherness and in showing up for each other and speaking the truth, sharing stories, and just standing firm on our values. We are one people, one Caribbean, from the shores of the Cayman Islands to the hills of Dominica and the rhythms of Jamaica to the voices of Barbados and Trinidad. We are bonded by culture, courage, and community. So this weekend, let's carry that unity with us. Let's be bold in our vigilance and generous in our spirit and proud of just who we are. And yes, until Monday, I'll be right back here. Thank you for sticking with me. And please stay curious, stay connected, and stay Cayman proud. Until Monday, please do have a safe and fabulous weekend. God bless. Please be careful on our roads. I don't want anything interrupting, or I don't want to hear any bad reports over the weekend. God bless. Love ya. Cheers. To a weekend and a productive week. God bless. That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, Cayman, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.